Every day, firefighters proudly risk their lives to save yours. But who saves theirs when they're in trouble? With your money and your investment, you will. Hello, my name is Ron Herman, and I'm from Sacramento, California, founder of Rescue Products and the inventor of the Tracer line, the next generation in search and rescue tools.
Thank you, Ron. Who else do you have here with you today?
Today I have with me my team. Paul Misso is our CEO. He's also 25 years of experience in the executive business world. And I have Julius Cherry, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing and retired Chief of Sacramento Fire Department.
Ron, what business and product are you presenting for us today?
Our business is Rescue Products. We are the developers of new and innovative equipment for the fire service. And our breakout product is the Tracer line, the industry's first retractable search line.
Paul, how much money are you seeking and what are you offering in exchange for the investment?
We are seeking $1.5 million in exchange for 10% of our company. But I have an enticement for you. In addition to that, we're offering 200% royalties from the first unit sold. You'll retain the royalties in addition to your equity.
And Paul, what are you planning to use the money for?
We're going to use the money to create our supply chain. We've fully tested the product at this point. We've got market acceptance. We've worked through our quality issues. In addition to building our supply chain, we'll be investing in sales and marketing to ramp our growth rapidly, in addition overseas. Finally, we're going to invest in continuing to protect our IP.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions, Mr. Herman.
Sure.
It's very interesting, but I'd like to see a demonstration and show us how this solves a problem and how the product works.
Absolutely. I'd like to start off by telling you what a firefighter has to do when he does search and rescue. Upon reaching or going into a fire, the smoke is so thick a firefighter can't see his hands in front of his face. So it's standard operating procedure for firefighters to use what's called a rope bag. Simple enough. He takes this rope in with him. He ties this off to the outside of his building. And once he's tied off, he has an anchor to the exit. Now he goes into the fire, finds his victim, drags him back out, kind of like Hansel and Gretel in the forest, trying to find their way out. But there's some inherent problems with this, and this is what causes firefighters sometimes to abandon this and risk their lives. First of all, when I go into the fire, I got to carry it in some cases, limiting what I can carry in other tools. Secondly, I have to find a place to tie off outside of the building and wedge the door open so it doesn't close behind me. Now, when time is the essence of someone's life, you can't be tied up outside of the building. You got to get in and out as fast as you can. Now, once I'm in and doing my search and I find my victim, when I come back out, now I've got the line dragging behind me, catching on rebar or other things, stopping my regress and keeping me from getting out quickly. And then once I'm out of the fire, if I've got to do multiple searches, say we didn't find our victim and we've got to go to the next place or the next office building, I've got a pile of spaghetti before me. I don't have time to repack this bag. Hence, I abandon it and I go and risk my life. Now, we have the answer. The Tracer line is the first retractable search line. Not only was this invented by me, but we have taken this product across the country and worked with urban search and rescue teams to put their input to make the best product for this process. This goes on the firefighter's SCBA belt, so now I'm hands-free. As I enter the building, I eject the handle, and in one motion, I have locked the door open, I have anchored my line, and I have beacon lights so other firefighters know that the search is in progress, eliminating all the time I have to waste trying to tie off the rope and wedge my door. Now I've got hands-free, I can carry multiple tools in. As I go in to do my search and find my victim, I can pull them out with a line retracting and not getting caught up under the debris. And the best thing is, once I get out, I can now go again and again, and I can do multiple searches without having to worry about the spaghetti. This is the next generation in search and rescue tools.
Thank you, Ron. Very nice. I have a question for the Chief. Tell us what's so interesting about this product and what's your hook?
Well, I spent more than 30 years of my life as a professional firefighter, and what I can tell you is that this product improves the margin of safety. If you're a fire officer, you have one job, and that is to make sure the members of your crew return back to the firehouse safely, and more importantly, return to their families safely. The reason this bridges the margin of safety is because speed is critical in a rescue. The fact that you can anchor into that door, you can pop it out, anchor into the door, twist it, and walk away in less than 3 seconds is extremely important to me. The fact that a firefighter can find you if you're down. If a firefighter goes into a building, despite what you see on television, in a smoky atmosphere, you can't see. When you go into a building, particularly one with a long corridor with a lot of twists and turns, you can't see in that building. And if you get lost or disoriented, you can very easily find your way back out using the retractable search line.
How far along are you on the business and development of this product?
We are ready to go to market. We've completed all product development, all testing, all quality assurance. We've run a beta test with 100 units out across the country at various fire departments and search and rescue facilities. We're ready to go to market.
All right, Paul, here's $1 million question, or maybe I should say $1.5 million question. Is your product currently making money right now? And if so, how much revenue has it generated?
Well, let me explain.
Wait, Paul. This is a really good question, and we have a really good answer. But to get that answer, you're going to have us on Shark Tank.
All right, we're going to give you a pass on that for now. But, Chief, I have a question for you. You've spent your career in firefighting. How's the tracer line different? How's it similar to other ideas? What makes it unique or valuable?
Well, I think the demonstration speaks for itself, but let me just say this. As a fire chief, we load down our firefighters with all kinds of equipment that we hope will make us sleep better at night so that they go home safely. The problem is, oftentimes that equipment is left on the rig. The thing about the tracer line is the same thing we learned about air packs with firefighters. You have to make sure it's on their back when they leave the rig so that they have that piece of equipment with them when things go bad. The thing I've always liked about the tracer line since I got involved in this project is it's on his utility belt. So when things go bad, nobody has to run back to the rig to find that piece of equipment. They have it with them and it's ready and instantly ready to use.
Ron, you have a very interesting product. How did you come up with the idea?
I and my other firefighter, when we were doing our training and learning how to use the rope bag, we were all in basically agreement to how much trouble we were having and the time it took to repack the bag. And at that time, I just happened to look up and see my captain, who was in charge of the training, and looked down and he had a keychain. You've seen it before, the retractable keychain that the custodians have. And that was I'm like, if we could put that into a rope bag instead of a rope bag and make that retractable, we would have something here that would save time and keep us from having to waste our time in doing the search. So that was my aha moment.
All right, this sounds good to this point, but I'm interested to know how much you've invested into your product.
I've personally invested over $100,000 into our project. We've raised approximately $1 million from other in total and sources that we've spent in the product development.
Excellent.
Ron, tell us when you started inventing things and becoming an entrepreneur.
Basically, I like to make things simple for myself and for others. And when I see something that needs improvement, I go in my garage and I tinker around. But this product kind of took its own life upon itself because of the fact that it's not just some device to help you get something done. This is a device to help save someone's life.
So this product, it means something to you. Tell us what it means to you.
You know, the business that we're putting together obviously means a lot to me. It means, we build something from the ground up. We have support for our families in a way of having some income. But again, I come from a firefighter DNA. My father was a firefighter. My uncle was a firefighter. My brother's a firefighter. I was a firefighter. And when you look at what we're trying to do here, I have two scenarios that play out in my mind. One, if you can imagine, I see a mother with a child, both looking down at I hate to say this, but a flag-draped coffin. And the other scenario I see is that same mother and that same child holding onto their firefighter husband and father, and him looking at us and saying, "Thank you for getting us out alive." I don't think anything else could mean more to us than if this product even saves one life. We've done our job and created something worthwhile.
Paul, I have a question for you. What would happen if you can't get your business off the ground, you can't find the funding you're looking for? Where does that take you?
We're going to do whatever it takes to get this off the ground. Failure is not an option here.
Okay, Chief, what is your ultimate goal for the tracer line?
My ultimate goal for the tracer line is that every fire engine and ladder truck in the country have tracer lines on board. There are other uses for the tracer line, such as shipboard firefighting, confined space rescue, but I know in my heart that this is going to save some civilians' life and some firefighters' life. And it's my contribution to the fire service that's given so much to me. I want to see every piece of equipment have tracer lines on board.
Okay, that all sounds great, gentlemen, and I like everything that you've said to this point, but I'm interested to know a little bit more about each of you. Paul, what's your background?
I spent 25 years as an executive with a high-tech company. Since then, I've been an entrepreneur for the last 8 years doing some consulting. Happily married with 3 wonderful children, but most of all, diehard Cubs fan.
Okay. All right.
You have to be diehard.
Sorry. Yeah.
Chief, tell us something about your background.
Well, as has been mentioned, I spent 30 years in the fire service, and before that, I served my country in the United States Air Force. I'm a practicing attorney here in Sacramento. I'm a part-time college professor. I'm an avid golfer. Married 25 years to my lovely wife, Donna. We have 4 children. And we bring a lot of passion to everything we do. And this product is one of the most exciting things I've ever been involved with. And we have to see it get off the ground because it is going to save some firefighters' life.
Thank you for that. But let me ask you another question. So you said you were the chief of a fire department?
Yes.
How many personnel were you responsible for, and what was the budget of that fire department?
I was the chief of the Sacramento City Fire Department. At the time, the budget was approximately $100 million, and I had over 600 employees under my command.
Good, thank you. Ron, what about yourself?
I come from a service-based family. As we mentioned earlier, everyone in my family has a fire DNA, but we go outside of that. We have a family catering business called Co3 Catering. Still staying with the fire theme, we do a lot of volunteer work in the fire industry, in the police industry, doing fundraisers and so forth so they can raise money. My wife and I are devout Christians, and we just feel that service to others is the most important thing, even above making any kind of money. So,
Paul, getting to this point is obviously taking some determination. What has been your biggest challenge?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is curbing the team's enthusiasm for taking the product to market until we've met every single one of those quality expectations that Julius has outlined earlier. I mean, it would have been a huge mistake to put somebody's life at risk by taking the product to market prematurely.
Ron, with your family's DNA in the fire industry and so forth, what do they think about the product, and what does your friends think about the Tracer line?
a lot of people have great ideas in their own heads. They try and bring it to market, and everybody's like, what was that guy thinking? So I didn't want to be one of those guys. So I took this to not only my fire friends, but people outside the fire industry in the civilian world, and I showed them what I had and my idea and what was currently being used. And I haven't had anybody say anything negative about it. It's all been a kind of a jaw-dropping moment. And the big question they had to me was, that seems simple. Why didn't somebody come up with that idea before? And my answer was, they did. It was me. I came up with this idea. So hence, from there, we've moved forward with the project.
Thanks, Ron. Chief, can you respond to the same question?
Needless to say, my friends and family love me, and so they're kind of biased. So they love the product. But I think here's what's more important. I put a lot of frequent flyer miles on my credit card over the last 4 years. We've taken this product to conferences in Atlanta, in Denver, in Indianapolis. I personally have taken it to Louisville, Kentucky, and Charlotte, North Carolina, Los Angeles, and other places. To me, the most important thing is what my professional colleagues think of the product. And they all love the product. We need the capital to get this product to market.
Ron, is there anything else you'd like to share with us in closing?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've shown you today that we've got the team, we've got the marketing structure, we've shown you what the problem is in the industry, and we've shown you what the answer is, the Tracer line. So I want to give you a little bit more information. We have over a $5 billion market for this product worldwide. And the question I want to get back to you is this: if you were a firefighter, which of these products would you put in your arsenal? And I know the answer to that question. That's why you're going to see us on Shark Tank.